worry about falling anyway, Fergus said. He'll just hit the ground and bounce back up like he did before. That was from only half this height, Hachi reminded him, and he's not totally invulnerable. We don't know what his limits are, but there's no reason to test them until we have to. Archie shifted his grip on the rope, trying not to think about his fall from his family's airship during their mid-air battle with Edison, trying not to think about the crack in his arm, the one he'd gotten fighting Edison's electrical robot body. The crack that showed Archie was made of stone. The crack that showed he wasn't entirely human. "Let's just get on with it," Archie said. "Just a little farther, and then we wait for nightfall," Hachi said. They were working their way sideways around the broad, gently curved side of the enormous helium balloon on the rope-like rigging that covered it like a giant net. Archie thought of the stuff as rope-like because it wasn't really rope, not like the twine rope he knew. It was made of something gray and shiny, like metal, but it stretched and hung like a fiber rope. The gray lines, just like the strange canvas-like material that held the helium trapped inside it, had been invented by Wayland Smith and Daedalus of the Roman League of Seven hundreds of years ago, and the world had yet to rediscover the secrets of their construction. Fergus ran a hand along the glossy veneer of the canvas. "I can't get over this stuff," he said. "Helium is so small, it escapes from almost anything. Anything light enough to float, that is, but not this. It's been hanging up here in the clouds for almost 2 millennia. They had to make sure it wasn't going to fall, Archie said. "Which you're both going to do if you don't focus," Hachi told them. "Next section. Go." The ropes that weren't ropes formed a grid of squares on the canvas that wasn't canvas, like the latitude and longitude lines on a globe. They were just tall enough for Hachi and Fergus to stand in a grid square on the bottom rope and hold on to the top rope with their hands, but Archie was younger and shorter than both of them. Where they could crab walk across, he had to lunge. Fergus shuffled his way across the grid square to the next, his kilt flapping wildly in the freezing, howling wind. He'd at least had the sense to put on long underwear underneath it, even though the baggy red long johns looked silly with his blue tartan kilt. At last he was across, and it was Archie's turn. "You can do this," Hachi told him. Archie focused on the rope at the other side of the grid, took a deep breath of the fresh oxygen pumped into his mask, and dove for it. The wind caught his big coat like a sail and spun him, and he fell. He clawed out blindly with his hands and felt only canvas. Zip! He was sliding down again, falling, soon to be dangling from his safety line again, or worse, when at last his hand felt rope and he snatched at it. Oof! He slammed into the canvas and hung there, panting as he got his breath back. "Better. Next grid," Hachi said, already moving along. "And don't forget to reattach your safety line." Archie closed his eyes and put his head against the canvas balloon. What was it his mother always said? No rest for the weary. That they were here at all, 3 kids on a top-secret, super-dangerous mission for the Septemberist Society, was incredible by the looks of it. What kind of adults would throw children into the firebox like so many lumps of coal? And what kind of parents would let them? But Hachi, the 13-year-old Seminole girl, had no parents to ask. She had been on her own ever since their deaths when she was little. Fergus, the 14-year-old tinker, was on his own too. He had left his family's farm in North Carolina to apprentice with Thomas Edison, but had run away when his boss had pumped Fergus full of electric squid blood. It was Archie's parents who had said no. "He's too young," his mother had said. "He's not ready," his father had said. But then it had been pointed out to them that even though he was just 12, Archie had the strength of 100 men, or so it seemed, and Archie couldn't get sick, couldn't